How's it going, Laser Bruce's I'm Bobby Sixkilla and welcome back to Ever 17. We kind of know our situation now and we are just hanging out again because we've got 5 days to go before the whole place implodes and murders us all. Drowns and also probably gets destroyed by all the walls getting crushed in on us like a giant press machine. But yeah, everyone seems pretty chill because they expect someone to show up and help us before then, but I don't see that happening, frankly, do you? No, I don't either. Sarah and I sat cross-legged on a bench in the rest area. The floor was covered with water. That was good, I'll say. We just polished off fried chicken sandwiches that Takeshi had made for us. There's a lot of British type language in here, which makes me wonder who did the translation. As for the other four, Sora was, as usual, like polished off. Sora was, as usual, cooped up in the control room, trying to make contact with MMIH. Tsugumi had vanished without saying where she was going. Takeshi had gone to deliver sandwiches to Sora and Tsugumi. Yu was changing clothes. Apparently she'd spilled something on them while eating. Fortunately, her normal clothes were safe in the changing room, in the dry area. Hey, I'm full now. Why don't we play a game? A game? Yeah. The Yamanote line game, or a word game. I know, rock, paper, scissors, charades. Rock, paper, scissors, charades? We play and the winner gets to choose something. And then the loser has to mimic it. Okay. Ready? Jing Ken Poi. Come on, put your hand out. I haven't said I was going to play, and what is that Jan Ken Poi? That's what you say when you play rock, paper, scissors. If you're playing, especially if you're playing Alex Kidd in Miracle World. And as to whether or not you're going to play, you are. Who said you could decide? Be quiet, now let's play. Not doing anything is boring, right? Oh, alright. That's more like it. Okay, here we go. Ready? Jang Ken Poi. I was paper and Sarah was scissors. Haha, I won. So I pick salmon. Salmon? You mean like a fish? Yep. So let's see it. Salmon. This is a salmon like a Pokemon. They just swim around going, salmon? I open and close my mouth like a fish, gyrating my hips around and doing my best to become a salmon. Sarah was laughing and holding her stomach. It looked like it'd been a good salmon. Alright, now that I'm warmed up, let's go again. Ready? Jang Ken Poi. I mean scissors and Sarah was paper. Oh, I lost. Don't give me a weird one, okay? Please? Please? Decide to make her act like... Ooh, I get to pick. A spoiled baby. That one. Maybe act out a spoiled baby. Oh, I might be good at that. Really? Yep. Alright then. Sarah Matsunaga, become a spoiled baby. I'm little Sarah. That milk's cold. I won't drink that milk unless you warm it up to body temperature. I thought in charades you're not allowed to talk. Sorry, I can't remember what babies are like, so I don't know if that was close. And then... What are you doing? You appeared in your changed clothes. We're playing rock, paper, scissors, charades? You're playing rock, paper, scissors, charades? That sounds fun. Can I play? Sure. Sarah explained the rules to you. To you. Okay, I got it. Alright then, let's play. Ready? Jang Ken Poi. Just then, the lights illuminating the room started to flicker. Instinctively, we looked to the ceiling. Listening carefully, I heard a sound like the rumble of thunder far away. What could that be? Or waves formed in the water pools on the floor. The walls and ceilings trembled slightly, metal screeched on metal. No, it couldn't be. Couldn't be what? Doesn't it sound a lot like when water that flooded in yesterday? The blood appeared to drain from the faces of you and Sarah in the flickering light. Immediately after that, we were blanketed in darkness. The tremors and sounds stopped, but an eerie silence filled the area. Only the emergency lights showed weakly. A blackout? It's a blackout. What about everybody else? Where are Takeshi, Tsugumi, and Sora? Tsugumi and Sora? Well, where's Tsugumi? Sarah and I shook our heads in the darkness. Anyway, let's go looking for Takeshi and Tsugumi. And Sora? Sora is... Let's not worry about her for now. What? I'll tell you later. Looking for those two is top priority right now. You started running. Sarah and I followed her without knowing what was going on. Until we arrived in front of the control room. The power was out, so the door didn't open automatically. You pulled the lever next to the door and opened it manually. The three of us went inside. Takeshi, Tsugumi. If you're there, then answer. You shouted out in the darkness. I wonder why she was only calling out to Takeshi and Tsugumi. Sora? Sora! I called out to Sora, but there's no answer. Sora should have been here. I wonder where she could have gone. You had picked up a flashlight at some point. Why does you know more about what's going on than she pretends she does? I imagine she got it somewhere in the control room. You turned it on. A white circle of light appeared on the wall. You shined the flashlight left, right and left, lighting up all the corners of the room. The electrical system was completely down. Like an abandoned castle, there was no sign of warmth left. There was clearly nobody there. It doesn't seem like there's anyone here. We left the room. Can you carry this? You handed me the flashlight and shut the control room door. Just then, we heard the sounds of someone running toward us through water. After a short while, two figures emerged from the darkness. Oh, Takeshi! Tsugumi! Takeshi and Tsugumi approached, walking through water. Hey, have you seen Sora? I thought she was in the control room. It was empty. Really? Takeshi used the manual lever to open the door. He looked inside. Do you want a flashlight? Yeah, thanks. Takeshi went and took the flashlight, turned it on and went in the room. Jeez, where would Sora go at a time like this? Takeshi said that when he emerged from the control room. So what are we gonna do? You said this calmly. It had been a series of emergencies since the day before. Maybe we're all completely used to it. In any case, none of us were freaking out. For now, all we can do is split up and look for Sora. Without Sora, we don't know why there's been this blackout. Yeah, Sora knows more about Lemieux than anybody. Sora? Sora. Maybe it's time. Since it's come to this, I'll tell you. I don't think we'll find Sora, even if we look. Huh? What? Why not? I can't tell you the reason. That's something that you should hear from Sora herself. What? Anyway, just take my word for it. You don't have to worry, Sora's just fine. And she'll come back for sure. Come back? You ignored my question. I see. So what are you gonna do? I think we should try the generator room. The generator room? I figured that the cause of this blackout is probably in the generator room. That reminded me of something Sora had said the day before. Lemieux didn't receive any power from the outside, but it had an in-house generating system. It was a thermal seafloor vent, where the hot water was pumped out of the seabed and heated, and heat from that was used to operate the generators. Tsugumi, you'll come along, won't you? Sorry, but I'm not up for it. What? I'm not going. If you want to go, be my guest. Saying that, Tsugumi left. Didn't look like there'd be any use calling after her. Jeez, I had no clue what's going on in that girl's head. Oh well, the four of us will have to go. Nakyu, where is the generator room? The generator room is here, in Drite stock. Alright, then let's get a move on. Can you lead the way? Takeshi started walking toward the corridor. Hey Takeshi, where do you think you're going? Where? To the generator room, of course. It was your idea to start with, right? And just how do you intend to get there? Huh? By walking through the corridors, dummy. Oh please, you really don't get anything, do you? Huh? What's that supposed to mean? Hey you, I don't think I get it either. Me neither. You guys don't remember the map of Lemieux we saw yesterday? Map? Map. Oh, you mean the 3-story map that had the area split into 2 areas? Oh, that's right. You remember it too, Takeshi? I can't say I remember it exactly, but kinda, yeah. And what was between those 2 areas? Between them? How am I supposed to know? I don't think there was anything. Exactly. Which means the 2 areas are divided by a block which is now underwater. So we can't go directly from the control room area to the generator room area. Besides that, the emergency stairs of one of those areas is also flooded. Meaning what? Oh, I get it. To get to the generator room area, we have to access the 2nd floor. And the only way we can do that is by using the neutral buoyancy elevator. Correct. So we have to go to the entrance to the neutral buoyancy elevator. That's right. Now that you've got it, let's get going. Ready, set, go. Ninja. She's so weird. Sarah took a bizarre kung fu pose and started spinning like a top. But I had no clue what she was trying to do. Before going for repairs, we had to secure tools. When the 4 of us ascended from Dwight's stock, we stopped by the warehouse first. Fortunately, we found the tools we needed right away. Pliers, a spanner, a screwdriver, hammer, a small welding machine, etc., etc. We packed all the tools we imagined we might need into the toolbox and headed for the neural buoyancy elevator. The neutral buoyancy elevator E1, or EI, sorry. EI, I mean egg in German. It was also a literal take on the egg-shaped elevator that travelled up and down on rails into the ocean on the side of Lemu. A ballast tank was attached to the floor. It would take in or release seawater from the tank as necessary to increase or reduce buoyancy, thus making the elevator rise or sink. Once we were inside, we sealed the watertight doors on the Lemu side of the elevator. All we had to do was release the lock connecting us to the Lemu, and this egg would sink away. You pulled the operating lever next to the door. Nothing happened. What's going on? We're not sinking at all. No, it doesn't seem like it. Do you think it's because the power's out? No. The I elevator is a neutral buoyancy elevator, so it basically doesn't require outside power. But it does need power for the intake and release of water from the ballast tank. This is the only time it needs power. Well, we're in a blackout right now, so there's no way to control the ballast valve? Is that a problem? Yes. Oh great, that means we can't move this thing at all then. Stupid, that's wrong. Are you supposed to be a college student? Well, excuse me. So put it in terms I can understand. Teacher, I know. Alright, Miss Matsunaga. In order to use buoyancy to rise or sink, the weight of the elevator must exceed the buoyancy for the object to sink, or vice versa. That's correct. You figured it out too, kid, right? Sure. Yeah, you mean Archimedes' principle, right? The buoyancy of the submerged object is equal to the weight of the liquid displaced by the object. Right now, the buoyancy of the elevator is exactly placed with the elevator's weight. So if we make the elevator heavier, it will outweigh the buoyancy and the elevator will sink. Yeah, but if we... Okay, fine. Well, good work, you two. What brains? You patted our heads as she praised us. Smart, smart girl. Not like some other people here. So the reason the eye won't sink yet is that it's not heavy enough, right? Yes, we need to find something heavy. We split up and went in search of the thing we could use as weights. And several minutes later... Takeshi was carrying a massive planting pot. Heave ho, heave ho! You brought a plaster ornament, and I brought a magazine holder and a bundle of magazines from the security office. And Sarah... Heave, heave, pull, pull. Sarah, that's... What in the name of... Sarah was dragging a massive tuna. What happened to that? It was in the corridor over there. I guess it probably washed out from the kitchen fridge during the flood. Sarah's my favorite. She's insane. It's a little cold, but it's okay, right? Holy fuck, it's huge. So the four of us packed ourselves into eye and cradled a frozen tuna headed down for Curator's stock. I had begun to inch down ever so slowly. Peeking through the window and into the blue, we could see outside of Lemur. What I'm worried about is if you write it down by overweighting it, then as soon as we step out, it's going to go back up, and then we've got no way to get back. Because we've got to... whatever. The blue gradually got darker, and the steel bulkhead appeared to move further away upward. We were silent during that time. What was there really to talk about? No, actually, you did say one thing. Hey, wasn't catching dolphins for food banned under some international treaty? It seemed that you was having trouble with the difference between a dolphin and a tuna. No one tried to answer her. I decided not to think about anything. Yeah, if we step out, how are we going to keep the elevator down? That's what I want to know. Curator's stock, Sector 7, was another area sealed off because of flooding. That was where we got off. Once the four of us holding the tuna got off, I lost its baggage and floated up to White's... Yeah, how do we get back up? Oh no, what do we do? We can't get back now. No problem. There's one more eye. I checked it. I checked and it stopped on this floor. Oh, that surprised the heck out of me. If there wasn't another one, there's no way the four of us would ever come down here. You sure? You seem pretty petrified with fear yourself. Zip it. I don't want to take any more lip from you. Alright, enough of that. Let's get going. We put the frozen tuna down and began walking toward the generator room. This side of the area was also inundated with water from the flood. It was still bathed in darkness. Blue light from the surface dimly pierced through the small round windows, making a wave-like shadow on the floor. The four of us relied on that and our flashlight as we proceeded deeper and deeper into the complex. Hey, wait up! When we turned a corner, we heard Takeshi call out from behind us. What are you doing? Hurry up! No dawdling, we'll leave you behind. I'll show you dawdling. This toolbox weighs a ton. Looking back, there was Takeshi with the toolbox on the floor and breathing hard. Jeez, give me a break, kid. Give him a hand. Alright. I hurried to where Takeshi was. Takeshi, I'll help you. Thanks, take it from that side. Okay. The two of us took the toolbox from both sides. Ooh, thanks. I thought my arms would fall off carrying it all alone. Quit exaggerating. Oh, Takeshi, watch out. There's a bump sticking out there. Whoa, that was close. Takeshi was just able to right himself. Whew. That surprised the bejesus out of me. I just about fell down. Glad you noticed that, kid. It's been so dark and everything. Good job. You really think it's that dark? Takeshi, maybe you got bad night vision. Could be. What is it that causes that? Lack of vitamin A or something? I hate liver and carrots. You shouldn't be so picky. Carrots are great. Finally, as we caught up with you and Sarah, we reached our destination. Yellow and black stripes appeared dimly ahead. That's it? This is the generator room? There's a plate with information on the front of the door, but it was too dark to read. I'll take a look. You reached toward the door handle. Wait! Instinctively, I grabbed Yu's arm. What is it? Takeshi and Sarah stared at me questioningly. What's the matter? The thing is... I couldn't find the words to reply. I wondered why I'd said what I had. I really didn't know, yet somehow... If you don't know what's going on inside, don't you think it might be dangerous to just open the door? I was just rattling off what popped into my mind. No, I hadn't even thought it. It just seemed to jump from my throat before anything else. Kinda like when you snap your hand back after touching a hot stove. I just reflexively blurted it out. What do you mean? You wasn't buying it. I took my hands from Yu's arm and searched for words. At that moment, it's kinda like this. If a pipe carrying hot water burst, then the room could be full of hot steam maybe. Sarah took up the slack in my explanation. Oh, I see. While I sensed danger, I couldn't express in words what it might be. The three of us nodded, satisfied. Okay, let's give it a try. Takeshi touched his hand to the wet floor. He went to place his damn fingers on the door. The droplets sizzled, evaporating away. It's true. It's just like Sarah had said. Wow, that was pretty sharp, kid. Yeah. I replied, but I hadn't really known it would be dangerous either. The one who had known was a separate someone inside me. That someone had simply borrowed my voice. Well, we've got amnesia, maybe it's the original us. What had happened was so strange that it made me feel out of place in my own skin. Anyway, with things as they stand, there's no going inside. Oh, shoot. I'll say. First off, let's close off all the valves for pipes sending hot water to the generator room. If we stop the flow of hot water, then steam should stop flowing into the room. Valves? Where are those? In the room next door. Down one more corridor, that way. It won't require that many people, just me and one other person to help. Alright, leave it to me. Huh? Takeshi? Hey, what's wrong with me? It's just... that if we were alone, I'm afraid you'll do something. That's... Maybe I should help. Oh no, that's okay. Mayo, you wait here. Hey kid, what are you gonna do? Huh? Me? Oh shit, that seems like an important question. I want to help though. Can we help her? Safe. I'll help you. Okay, in that case, Sarah and I will hold down the fort here. You can't complain about that, right? Okay. Geez, damned if I do, damned if I don't. It seemed that Takeshi was oblivious to his disturbing dream the night before. I figured that Yu was concerned about you in her own way. Like, when she said you had to carry the heavy toolbox, maybe it was her way of saying, rest a bit or take it easy. You think so? It's a pretty generous interpretation, I'd say. Oh well, in that case, I guess Sarah and I will just have to sit back and relax together. Takeshi tried to pat Sarah on the shoulder, but she dodged the advance. Oh, you probably don't want to do that. Huh? I'm a licensed Ika ninja. What's that? It means if you value your life, you better stay back. Kid, should we get going? Yeah. You and I left the increasingly tense atmosphere behind. The room was covered in a massive web of pipes. The pipes continued into the adjacent generator room. It seemed that by opening and closing the valves, the water and oil pressure could be adjusted. Normally, MMIH is responsible for maintaining the generator room, but even MMIH can't do much when the generator itself goes out. Anyhow, this is all because the power supply's down. This room is designed so that maintenance can be performed manually at times like this, or during blackouts. That was what you told me. You selected one pipe from the countless rows of them, and instructed me to close its valve. As ordered, I turned the valve around and around. Hey you! I said this as I was closing the valve. What? It's about the girl from yesterday. You see, you mean the 7th survivor you said you saw? Yeah. You sure your eyes weren't playing tricks on you? I'm positive. These eyes saw her. Maybe you got some kind of eye disease. Huh? Disease? I'm kidding, it's a joke. Why do you always take everything seriously? Because everything you say is so fucked up, lady. Enough already. Alright, I'll listen to your stories of unidentified survivors later. Right now we have to work. How does you know so much about the workings of this place? I know she works here, but she's just some part-timer tour guide lady. Why does she know so much about how everything functions around here? It makes sense that Sora knows how everything functions around here, but not her. Right now we have to work. Finally, the valve is completely shut. That should do it. Can we talk now? Let's get back to Takeshi and Sarah. You took off from the room as if you were a fugitive on the run. I was left in the room alone. I felt an unclear mess of feelings stewing inside my mind. With this, we'd be able to shut off the hot water flowing into the generator room. Even so, on the other side of the door, it was still hot enough to scald. The four of us waited outside the generator room until we could be sure the temperature inside had cooled enough. When we thought the time had come, we timidly opened the door. It was like opening the door to a steam bath. A cloud of steam hissed out of the door. The heat inside just about defied imagination. The air in the steam-filled room was heavy and stuck to the skin. Inhaling felt like swallowing globs of sticky hot steam. Takeshi was opening and closing his mouth like a fish out of water. He's doing the salmon impression. Isn't it hard to breathe? Stop pointing out the obvious. Talking about it just makes it worse. Nah, Q. Let's just do what we have to do and get out of here. Alright. Let's divide up what we have to do and be efficient about this. I'll be here, Takeshi. Can I get you to go over there, kid? I want you to... And so we got to work fixing the generator. Takeshi and you did the bulk of the work. There wasn't much for Sarah or me to do, because we were helpless when it came to machines. Takeshi and Sarah were working on the other side of the generator. You was doing better with the machine, and depending on my flashlight wielding skills, with nothing much to do, my mind started wandering. And of course, it led right to the girl who had disappeared. I just couldn't believe that I'd imagined the whole thing. Hey, you know, I've thought a lot about it. What? About the girl? What, you still stuck on that? Just listen. Maybe the girl... Maybe she's a ghost. Huh? You gave me a fed-up look, shook her head and went back to work. That's gotta be it. That would explain why the numbers changed so irregularly and why she vanished all of a sudden. That's stupid. Listen, I'm serious. No. If you were talking about something serious, I would take you serious. But I'm not listening seriously to something like this. Stupidity is contagious. It seems like multiplication of positives and minuses. A positive times a positive is a positive, but a minus times a positive is a negative. So, pass me that minus-like screwdriver, would you? I suppressed my anger and put the flathead screwdriver in his hand. Okay then, you don't have to listen seriously. Just listen to me stupidly. What's that mean, listen stupidly? It's multiplication, right? A minus times a minus is a plus, right? I see. Alright then, I'll listen to the stupid stuff you've got to say until I finish screwing in these screws. So what is it you're dying to say? It's about the girl that disappeared. If she were a ghost... Hold on, now do you really believe in ghosts? I wouldn't say believe, but believe in the possibility. 0. That's what possibility there is. 0.00000000001% maybe. How do you know? You sighed and started turning the next screw. Listen, ghost stories now and forever are almost all made up. They're just fiction with the goal of entertaining people. Haven't you ever felt someone's eyes on you when you were in a room all alone? Eyes? Yeah, like someone was watching you from behind. You mean your mum? I'm being serious. Oh, never mind. Things like that are just your imagination. A product of an overzealous mind. An illusion spawned by the mental state of the person. You mean my mind is playing tricks on me? To be perfectly blunt, yes. UFOs and goblins are the same thing. People like to imagine stuff. Thanks to the power of imagination, people have been able to evolve to where we are, but it's kind of a curse too. Taken to extremes, there's no distinguishing between reality and illusions. When you turn on the lights, the ghost is only a shirt on a chair. People who want to be scared see what they want. If you really want to believe that something exists, even if it doesn't, then you still feel that it does. If you're scared of something, you'll scare yourself even if there's nothing there. I'm gonna give up. I wasn't satisfied, but I'd learned something. You couldn't beat you in a debate. So? Doesn't look like you're convinced. You can't convince me. I know I saw her. At least I saw something. Don't go telling me you have special powers to see spirits or anything either. I see dead people. You're not gonna say it, right? Alright. But no spinning your head around 360 degrees or spewing out ectoplasmic goo, alright? And no supernatural tricks or channeling spirits either. Because if a poltergeist gets loose around here, the screws I just put in could fall out. For not believing this stuff, You sure know a lot about it. It's because I don't believe in it that I know a lot. My knowledge is not for defensive purposes, it's for offensive ones. Huh? I mean, there are those people who swear by ghosts, the supernatural, UFOs, and that occult stuff. They're completely loony. My knowledge is so that I can take them down when I meet them. I've stocked up on enemy information for my verbal assaults. That's the reason I majored in archaeology. Archaeology? Archaeology? I thought that was about digging, looking for artifacts, ruins, and deciphering ancient letters, that kind of stuff, right? Well, maybe. You're studying archaeology. It just didn't click. So what are you studying? I'm not doing anything that big. I'm still a freshman, so I'm only taking basic stuff. I just listen to professors lecture and go on excavation surveys. I'm still getting the fundamentals of what is archaeology pounded into my head. That reminds me, speaking of archaeology, have you ever heard of the continent Lemuria? It always seems like it's the origin of Lemu's name. Have I heard of it? I know so much about it makes me nuts. Lemuria is a phantom continent that is said to have existed from 200 million to 50 million years BC. On it thrived an ancient civilization that was more advanced than what we have today, but overnight it just slipped down to the bottom of the ocean. You recited it off so fluently that it sounded like you were reading from a textbook. An advanced civilization? Overnight, huh? Atlantis? That sounds just like... There are some scholars that contend that the continent was the origin of mankind. But what could they be talking about? That could never happen. You don't believe it? Of course not. Archaeologically and geologically, the idea has no basis. The more real research is conducted, the more the theory is shot full of holes. It's no longer a legitimate field of study. Is that right? Reality is different than a fairy tale. Religion is like that too. Any and all those mysterious things that people get all worked up about, they're mostly all make-believe. They're all impossible to prove, so who cares what they say? That's the philosophy behind it. I thought that maybe precisely because there was no evidence for or against that, what people said was actually packed with meaning. I felt like that because those words were the only foothold, the only way to really nail down reality. I absolutely thought about this for a minute. This screw's really tight. Let me try. We switched places and I tried twisting the screw into place. Oh, I'm beat. My shoulders are stiff and everything. You twisted and stretched, your back popped loudly. Hey, you know what we were just talking about? What was that? Oh, Lemuria. Yeah. Kid, you're not one of those people to get into all those stories, are you? I don't know about that, but since we've got time to kill, just humor me. Alright, what is it? Okay, I wonder if Lemuria angered God and he sent it to the bottom of the ocean. Are you trying to piss her off? I mean, if the people of Lemuria had such an advanced civilization, maybe God struck them down for their pride or something. Huh? You? Hello? This is bad. Danger, I'm putting myself in danger of being dragged to lunacy with you. Stupid. Alright, I should be fine now. Okay, I see what you're saying. But you're saying that it was all like the Tower of Babel, right? Tower of Babel? In the Old Testament, in Genesis, there's a story about this tower. In it, people are so proud of their achievement that they built this super high tower, this massive structure that almost reaches to heaven. But God was angered by their behavior. God said, I'll bring down their pride together with the trickery of their hands. They are impudent. So God took it upon himself to destroy the tower and the building stopped. And people spread to all corners of the earth. That's the story of the Tower of Babel. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I nodded without stopping my work. That would have to be the work of a god like Shiva. Shiva? Or Shiva? The god of destruction and creation. One of the main 3 Hindu gods. He has more than 1,000 names, 4 arms, 4 faces, and 3 eyes. He destroys the world for purposes of creation. The destruction is so thorough that in it is contained the seeds of possibility of the next generation. Kind of like starting from square one is better than fixing something halfway. Probably something like that. So if Lemuria had pissed off God enough to sink it to the ocean, then that god would probably have demolished it. Oh, I see. A god that would purge the world of filth by destroying it. A god that damned people drunk with pride. A god forced rebirth. Look, you're slowing down. Hurry up and finish up. I'm already done. I finished putting in all the screws. Next, tighten those bolts. I handed the screwdriver to her and took the wrench. Somewhere along the line, I've been put in charge of the work. When you pointed the flashlight near me, I saw 3 bolts in the shape of a triangle. Did you say that Shiva had 3 eyes? Yep. That means... I put my wrench between my eyebrows. He'd have another eye right here then. That's right. The light from that third eye burns all in the world, purifying it. That sounds pretty cool, I said as I tightened the top bolt. But I bet a visit to the optometrist would be a pain. You'd have to buy another lens, so the optometrist would love it. I thought to myself that making the custom frame is what would cost a fortune, but I didn't dare say it. That's enough of that. But the idea of a third eye is not limited to Shiva. It also exists in the world of Buddhism and yoga. Clairvoyance, telescopic vision, ghost sense, the gift of the prophet, the power of seeing the past or future. There are a lot of explanations behind it. Some say it is the gift from the gods. Others that you could acquire it from intensive training. But what they all have in common is, when the third eye opens, true wisdom is apparent, and all becomes visible. They have something to do with transcending the realm of the human, becoming superhuman somehow. Real wisdom. Muttering that, I turned to face the bolt again. If I had that, I might be able to get my memory. Yeah, right. If there really is such a thing, I want one. You want what? A third eye? Yeah, if I had one, maybe I could see my past. And maybe I'd know who that girl is. Anyway, I'd like to see what it's like. You want to see? Yeah, maybe I can see something. Shall I give you a look then? What? I looked up, and there was Yu's face. When did she get so close? We were at a distance where we could just about feel each other's breath. The tips of our noses just about touched. That's how close her face was. You? You want to see, right? You stared at me in the eyes as she said this. I couldn't speak. My legs shook. My heart was beating as fast as it would go. I felt like it would jump right out of my chest. Now take a good look. You lifted her bangs and placed her finger on her forehead. Right here, isn't it? The third eye? On Yu's face, there was nothing. All I could think was was her nice skin and sweet smell. You grabbed her stomach laughing. Huh? What? It's a joke, a joke. What? That was too funny. Who wants to take that completely seriously? You're the best. You're so mean, you. You tease me even though you know how serious I am. Sorry, oh I'm sorry, but you keep saying one bizarre thing after another, so I just couldn't help playing a joke on you. Besides, what I said wasn't really a lie anyway. Saying that, you pointed to her forehead again. What do you mean? I wonder why we have two eyes. Common knowledge had it that physically two eyes were enough for gauging the distance to a point or focusing on something. But what would it be like if we really used to have three? Actually, the animal ancestors of vertebrates had three eyes. Early species of primitive reptiles. Like the tuatara lizard, that still has a third eye on top of its head. Third eye? The organ had a similar function to the eyeball, and lies on top of the head. This organ would be sensitive to the light of the outside world, and control internal hormone secretion and balance based on light. An eye on the crest of one's head would stare straight up. It seems safe to say that it would sense the difference in light between day and night. A right eye, a left eye, and one above. An eye on top of the head to stare at the sky. Only we people and higher vertebrates had lost the third eye over a long process of evolution. It had been covered over by the cerebrum, and we lost our ability to sense light directly. Therefore, we had two light-sensitive eyeballs, one on each side instead. This lost third eye was called a pineal body. This had functioned in the brain for eons, and was responsible for secreting hormones that helped carve out our 24-hour rhythm. What we called our internal clocks existed because of this pineal body. That was essentially the rundown that you gave me as I was tightening the bolts. So the third eye, in terms of human anatomical science, is really no big deal. It's just an organ we lost through evolution. You mean like an appendix or the webbing between fingers? That's exactly what I mean. I finished with the bolt. Well then, our work here is done. Oh, I'm tired. You stretched as he said this. Put both hands on my waist and stretched. We were both drenched in sweat. Hey, I was wondering. What? So that cold stuff that you were just telling me about is for offensive purposes too? Well, it's not really for offensive or defensive use. It's just a load of useless knowledge. Still, I can't very well just throw it away. Maybe it has completely rooted itself into my brain. But you planted it there yourself, right? No way. My mum's the guilty one. Your mum? Yeah, my mum's an archaeology researcher. Apparently she's an expert in the ancient concept of the third eye. Anyway, when I was little, instead of lullaby, she told me all about these third eye stories. Wow. Huh, the third eye. How about that? I wonder if the third eye could be related to something. I thought I'd ask about possible connections, but my mind and body were completely drained. Oh well, I'll save it for next time. I used to hate archaeology. You sighed as she said this. But one day I just woke up and found myself in the archaeology department. Like mother, like daughter. It's not that simple. Yu's shoulders slumped and she let go a sigh again. It's like some kind of curse. Soon after that, it looked like Takeshi and Sora had finished up their work as well. Well, it had turned into an adventure, but at least we'd finished the repairs. It was just like Sarah had said. The cause of the blackout was the opening of the safety valve, due to the drop in air pressure. When pressure from the steam becomes excessive, a valve automatically opens to release the gas to prevent damage. Normally, after a release of surplus gas, the valve is designed to shut naturally, but we're only at 1 atmosphere. Because the safety valve never closed, the steam continued leaking. Anyway, that was the gist of the explanation. Alright, it's time to wrap this one up because we are super duper out of time. I just wanted to get through that third eye conversation. But it's going to get interesting. We're going to get power back at least, so that's something. Till next time, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one.